I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street.
What if Michael Jordan played one secret pickup game in summer 1996 to pay off a debt so big it would get him banned from the NBA for life? What if that game was played on a private court in Malta and Jordan's parting gift was a jewel-encrusted pair of Jordan 11s, a pair of kicks so special and rare that they could be worth millions if they actually exist? Follow Jack Palms on a hunt from San Francisco to Hawaii and back across the country to New York City as he tracks the only person who knows the truth about these sneakers, a felon who just skipped his bond to chase them, the mythical pair of sneakers that can only go by one name. Seth Harwood presents his next novel, The Maltese Jordans. Subscribe today at patreon.com/Seth Harwood.
Hi everybody, this is Steve Owens from Fascination Street Podcast. I really appreciate your listening to the show. I'm having a lot of fun getting to talk to some really fascinating people, and I want to continue doing this, but I need your help. I need you to subscribe and tell people about the show. But the biggest thing you can do to help me is to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen through. As a special thank you, anyone who rates and or reviews the show, send me a screenshot as proof and I will mail you a set of 3 pair of silk cufflinks courtesy of my friends at Menlo House. You can send it via Twitter to @FascinationSTPD, via Instagram to FascinationStreetPod, or email me at FascinationStreetPod@gmail.com. I really appreciate all of you for listening and for helping. Thank you so much. Now let's get to this week's guest. Welcome back, guys. This episode is with Angela Lese. She's a rock and roll drummer who was formerly with the Dead Deads, and now she is with Taco Mouth, and she is also the drummer for the Raelyn Nelson Band. She's a lot of fun to talk to. I was a fan of her previous band. I'm a fan of her current 2 bands, and mostly I'm a fan of her drumming, which is badass. Enjoy, guys. Angela Lese.
Yeah, talk to me, yeah.
Hi, Angela.
Hey, what's up?
What is going on?
Not too much.
Welcome to the show, Angela Lese. Did I say that right? Is it Lese?
It is Lese. It's Gregory now, really, but...
Oh, we're going to get there. Angela Lese, Gregory, you are a badass rock and roll drummer lady.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. We have talked before, but not for this program. So let's just act like we don't know each other. Cool?
Perfect.
All right. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I kind of call that home. I was born in Elkhart, Indiana.
Pretty sure my truck was built in Fort Wayne.
Maybe, yeah.
When did you leave Fort Wayne?
Well, I guess technically I left when I went to college. I went to Purdue years ago. And I moved away, I guess, for good in like 2001. Is that right? 2004 is when I moved to Missouri for my first job.
Okay, so did you go to the real Purdue or did you go to Ooey Pooey?
Well, I started at IPFW, the Purdue in Fort Wayne, and then I transferred to the main campus in 98. I stayed there, got my master's degree, and then I moved on.
Holy shit.
I went to school with Drew Brees. We were in the same graduating class.
Oh, cool. I don't know who that is. Just kidding. Everybody knows who that is.
I almost jumped down your throat.
All right, and you studied meteorology, right?
I did, yeah.
What drew you to that?
It's weird. I'd always been into music and into weather growing up. I guess just being around, like, Indiana. I mean, we had some mega storms growing up. I just remember them being a bigger deal and a lot of tornadoes growing up. So I think that kind of attracted me to it just because it's interesting. So I actually went to school for music first. I played flute before I did anything else. I played flute for 9 years. And I went to school for flute performance, whatever that is. And then I just knew that, like, well, I don't want to do that So I changed majors to meteorology and had to go to the main campus for that.
I was looking on that college's website, and they said that you might actually be better at the flute than the drums.
It's true. I mean, I was. I don't know about now. Yeah, I was trained really well on the flute, and I took a lot of lessons, and, you know, I won some awards and was going to go to college for pretty much free. So, you know, I was good, I guess, at flute, and I'm sure better at flute than the drums because I'm self-taught on the drums. And there are a lot of amazing drummers out there that are trained technically the way you should be, and I'm just not one of those.
So does that mean that you hold both of the drumsticks like a baseball bat? Do you hold it? You don't hold it the weird way with the in between the weird fingers on the left hand?
Traditional grip. No, I don't do traditional grip. It's called match grip, which looks like you're holding them like baseball bats.
Nice.
That's the way I do it, yeah.
So you went to Missouri to work for the National Weather Service?
Yeah, I started in Springfield, Missouri, and I lived there about a year and a half. And then I got a promotion to the Louisville office, and I was there 7 years, almost 8 years, and that's actually where I met Erik. So when I got to Louisville is where I really started tapping into the music scene.
Well, I lived in Louisville for a year and a half, and I'm going to have to say that I don't feel like going to Louisville is a promotion from anything.
It's better than Springfield, Missouri, and no offense to people in Missouri, but
well,
it's not my kind of thing. It's very desolate. It's really pretty if you like outdoor stuff, but I mean, Springfield was smack dab in the Bible Belt, and that is not my scene.
What? Well, Louisville does have all that delicious bourbon going for it, so that's cool.
Yeah, and you know what? Louisville, like, the Highlands area is really cool. Their park system is awesome. I mean, they treat, like, their parks really nicely, and they have really good food. They have better food than Nashville, I think, but if you're not a foodie, it doesn't really matter.
Well, we are foodies, and we tore the food up in that town. Oh, my God, we loved it.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing about Louisville.
There's even a chef lady who won the next Food Network star. She's from Louisville, and she still lives there. Her name is Damaris Phillips. So.
Oh, fun. I bet Erica would know. Not only is she in my band, but I'm in her band, I guess, but she's a serious foodie and loves the Food Network, and she's a good chef herself. So, like, she probably knows who that person is.
Sweet. We are all of those things as well, my wife and I. So, yeah, Erica would definitely know who Damaris is. So, you get to Louisville. You're working as a meteorologist for the National Weather Service. You're there for 7 years. And you start getting into the music scene. What made you pick, I'm going to call what you play rock and roll or rock or hard rock or whatever. What made you pick that genre?
Well, I think just growing up in the 90s, like during the coming of age years, I was basically coming of age during the whole grunge movement. So I think the 90s music really spoke to me. So I just wanted to always play that kind of music. So like the Breeders, Green Day, Alanis Morissette, you know, obviously Nirvana, like all those bands I really loved. And it's funny, I didn't love Nirvana at the time, but I did eventually. And I think being around that stuff growing up, I just was drawn to music so much. I think that's why I wanted to play that kind of music. And music's fun when it's moving, when it's rock, when it's any kind of dance or something. I mean, that's why I'm kind of like a pop fan too. I guess when I was a kid, like my favorite music was Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, like that kind of stuff. So even AC/DC, so anything that would make you move, like that's the kind of stuff I liked. So I'm drawn to anything that does that. And I think that's why the drums are so important for any band I'm in, because it has to be an important part of it. Like I love different kinds of music, like some of the Americana, but you know, I'm not sure I'm the drummer for that kind of music. You know what I mean?
I do. Probably not a whole lot of excitement in playing country ballads, the slower stuff.
Right, yeah. And I know there's a need for that, and I'm sure I can do that. I just don't think I'm the right drummer for that kind of genre. So I've definitely found a home in the rock scene. And, I mean, rock's a big genre, whatever that really entails, but that's kind of my wheelhouse for the most part.
Okay, so when did you go from Louisville to Nashville? Is it Nashville or is it Nashville?
Just Nashville. Louisville is harder to say. There's signs all over town that have different pronunciations of it.
The way I always tell people is that you have to say it like you have a mouthful of marbles.
Seriously, yeah. And people get mad at you if you say it wrong. Like, it's Louisville. It's named after King Louis the whatever. So weird that it's changed over the years, but whatever.
So it makes me wonder if those people call that king, do they just call him King Lou?
Maybe, yeah. Hey, Lou, what's up?
And isn't St. Louis named after the same guy?
I think so. So
Weird.
Everyone's pronouncing it wrong.
Weird. So what took you to Nashville?
I got a promotion in the weather service to management, which was awesome for me because when I was into the weather, it was my dream job that I always wanted because it was the science trainer. So I really wanted that job as soon as I got in the weather service. So I finally had an opportunity to apply for it, and it was in Music City, so that fact wasn't really lost on me either. So I got that promotion in 2012, and I moved here in June of 2012.
Kick ass. So being a fan of weather and music, the soundtrack to that movie Twister was just probably right up your alley.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
I do love that movie, not because of its accuracy, but just because it's, it's Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. Like, you can't not like that movie.
And it's also got that dude from Princess Bride, Cary Elwes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Nobody knows how to. I think it's Cary Louisville.
Yeah, that's it. There's some big names in there, actually. So, it's entertaining for sure, but not the greatest soundtrack.
Yes, and probably not the greatest as far as accuracy either.
Not at all, but it's still fun.
But been a while since I've seen that movie. Do you feel comfortable talking about your time with the Dead Deads?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I love the story of how the Dead Deads formed. Can you tell that?
It kind of goes back to me and Erica in Louisville. So Erica Sellers wanted to start a girl band in Louisville, and we had a mutual friend. So that mutual friend reached out to me and was like, hey, I know this girl, Erica. She wants to start a band. She needs a drummer. And we hung out, and we became like best friends the first time we hung out. It worked.
You and Erica?
We were in a band together. Yeah.
Okay.
Erica and I were in a band together. It was initially called the Lost Scoundrels for like one show, and then we renamed it Catfight and got signed to a local label there, and we started getting some pretty good regional following from that. It was working. It was weird. We weren't even trying, and we were selling out shows. We played some Pride festivals, and it was really awesome. And then I got the job here. So kind of during our peak, I moved away, and when I got here, it took about a year before the Dead Deads formed, at least a year. I had met Tish through a mutual friend down here, and I told her one day, I'm like, yeah, we should play music together. And she's like, oh, what do you play? I'm like, I play drums, but I'm not great, just because I was trying to be humble. And then that was that. And maybe 6 months later, I was like, dude, what's going on? Let's play music. She's like, you said you weren't any good. I'm like, I'm being modest. Let's try at least. And then, in 2013, in the summer, she and I jammed together with Daisy, and we wrote a couple songs, and actually one of them was The Lonely Sound, the very first song we wrote, and it worked. And then, Catfight was kind of not working with me long distance, so I just begged Eric, I'm like, you need to move here. And the Dead Deads didn't really form until really Erica moved here. So Tish and Daisy and Tish's sister Mandy and I formed a tribute band called the Dead Milkmaids. And we played our first show Halloween 2013 as a Dead Milkman tribute band. And we played 7 or 8 songs, but it was 20 minutes because their songs are really short. Right. And we played and it was fun. And then Erica had moved down there the very next month. And we were rehearsing in my basement, and Tish was like, isn't your roommate a badass guitarist? I was like, she is. So she made Erica come downstairs in her pajamas and pick up her guitar and just kind of jam. And that's kind of where the Dead Deads began, when Erica joined the band. And that was November of 2013 when all that kind of came together. And I think as the Dead Deads, we played our first show in April 2014.
And how'd that go, the first show?
It was fun. We played in Chattanooga, and we opened for P-Lander Z. They're crazy Japanese punk band, and they're freaking great. And they're very interactive, so it was It was a really great show. They were awesome, and we actually played with them again like a year later. But that was our first show. It went really well, and then our first show in Nashville as the Dead Deads was at the Basement, and that was a lot of fun. I think it was like a free show on a Sunday. There were like 5 bands, and, you know, you got to start somewhere, but it was really fun. But Erica and I had decided we're basically always going to play music together. So when the Dead Dead started getting songs together and stuff, we just put Catfight on hold. Because we didn't know a bunch of people here, so we didn't want to just, like, try and make it work. We wanted to find the right fit for that music, because Erica's one hell of a songwriter, and I've always been a fan of her writing the best. She didn't really get to shine in the Dead Deads, and I think that's one reason kind of how the universe worked out, where we're back at it again and right, you know, kind of where we started and where we intended to be. So it's kind of nice playing with music with her again.
Neither one of you are in the Dead Deads.
That's right. I'll just say we quote unquote left in October. You know, it definitely wasn't pretty, but it was the right move for both sides, I think. And I don't know how they feel, the other 2 girls, but I think, you know, just playing music with Erica and getting to work with Michael Wagner and having like this whole rock community behind us, just everything feels so right playing music with her. And, you know, it's all, whether it's Taco Mouth or whether it's something else, like Erica and I just work really well together, and we're always, stuff just happens when we play music together. So it's kind of a weird feeling of it's meant to be. And I don't think it'll take long for that to gain some traction. It's already doing that now. So I'm really excited about the future. And it just gets to showcase Erica. She's a great songwriter. She just knows how to write the hooks, you know, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
So how does it work? Because I know that when you were with the Dead Deads, y'all put out a couple of albums, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work? Were y'all big enough to where there's some sort of a royalty split for you and Erica?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can't discuss details.
Oh, right,
but
right.
We made sure that, I mean, anybody that helped write a song in a band, even if they're not in that band, they still get a cut of the royalties and stuff, if they make sure they do.
Gotcha.
Now, if they don't do their homework, they're probably missing out on some stuff. But I didn't go to school for business, but I know business. I know what's right. I know what's wrong. So I definitely made sure that both sides were taken care of the correct way, the legal way. So, like, you know, we just made sure that, hey, those are our songs too, and we're just going to make sure that, and I don't think the other 2 girls were opposed to that. I think they agreed. They're like, yes, you know, let's make sure everything's correct in the split. So that, I think, you know, it was done the most professional way and legal way possible.
Cool. I didn't want the details. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't walking away from all that.
Right. No, as long as the Dead Deads are a band and doing something, you know, Erica and I still have a part of that. And same with Mandy. You know, I think, I don't know her details either, but that's just the way it goes when bands break up all the freaking time. It was a little heartbreaking just because we were so close to our fans. I think that was rough, especially the way, you know, I think Erica and I could have been treated better publicly, but that's just my opinion. You know, that's no disrespect to anybody. It's just bands break up, people get hurt, and that's the way it goes. But, yeah, I think no matter what happened there, we're definitely going to be fine.
Good, because those are some really, really good songs. I loved them. I think they're great. I still listen to them. I mean, I'm sure you do too, or maybe you don't, but I do.
I'm glad you listened to them, yeah. And, yeah, the first record was always my favorite because it was just us in the room writing. That was the Rainbow record. And it wasn't anyone saying, we need to go this route, we need to go that route, we need to do this. It wasn't any kind of dictatorship. It was all a community just writing together, and that was the most fun. And that's what music is supposed to be about. It shouldn't be, it's got to be fun. So if you're not having fun, you gotta leave it. You got to give up on it and do something else that makes you happy. And if anyone ever asked me, you know, which record someone should go after, I think it should be the Rainbow record, because that's where all the balls are in that band. Like, it was from that record, and it was just us, and that was great. I love that record. But yeah, we got to work with Paige Hamilton, of all people, on the second record, so that was awesome too. And we're still friends with him, so that's nice. He's basically Helmet, the lead singer, the songwriter of Helmet. You know, that was a cool experience. And then Erica and I were a part of the EP Flying Saucers, and then also the Sweetwater sessions that not very many people know about. We did a live EP at Sweetwater Music in Fort Wayne, and that was a really cool experience. And actually, I was very proud of my drumming on that record, but you can't find it anywhere. I don't know what they're doing with it. We kind of split from the band right when we had that in our hands, so I'm not sure what's happening with that, but I was proud of my drumming on there.
So tell me about the band that you're in now, or the bands. How many bands are you in right now?
I'm in 2, technically. the glory of being a freelance artist, I guess. So, I guess technically I'm a hired gun for anybody right now, since I'm not necessarily tied to any band or LLC. But the way I see it is I'm part of the Raelyn Nelson band. I'm in that band, and I'm also in Taco Mel. Raelyn Nelson is Willie Nelson's granddaughter, and that's kind of an outlaw country / garage rock band. Still in my wheelhouse, even though it's country-based, but it's really punk-based. It's kind of a punk rock country band, and really talented musicians and really nice musicians, too. I like playing with nice people, so so that's really cool. And then, of course, Taco Mouth is basically Catfight re-envisioned, so it's Erica's brainchild, and it's being produced by Michael Wagner, he was the mastermind behind Master of Puppets. He worked with Skid Row and Dokken and Alice Cooper and Extreme and all these bands, all these old hair bands. So it's kind of nice to work with him in Taco Mouth because it basically gives us our old school rock and roll vibe, bringing it to life. So it's really cool to work with the right producer on that band.
So does that mean that you're in the studio?
We are going into the studio with him in May and June to write a full-length record.
That's awesome.
And it's going to be awesome. The stuff Erica's writing now, it's just going to be, it's going to be a kick in the teeth. It's going to be so awesome. I can't wait.
That's exciting. I can't wait. So do you guys tour right now?
We're playing more regionally right now, especially since the studio time's coming up so quickly. And then once the record's done, we're already getting hit up about tours and stuff, so I think it's just going to be finding the right tour at the right time, once that record's done. And then, of course, with Raelyn, we're booked out through September pretty much, so I'm busy. It's hard to balance. There's going to come a time, I think, where, it might be where one of the bands takes over, and then I'd have to find a sub, and that would be hard, but it's just the way it is. It might happen, it might not.
So when you said that you're playing with Raelyn, dates through September or whatever, is that a tour or is that locally?
It's a ton of different gigs, but it's mostly weekend kind of stuff or short runs because Raelyn has kids and a couple of us in the band have day jobs too. So, but it's jobs that we would give up in an instant for a full-length tour, The Raelyn band's not that old, and I think they've struggled to find a steady drummer, so they haven't really been able to, really push the band. But I think adding me to their mix, I work really well with them and with the music, that I think we have the right equation. So I think that the touring aspect is going to be more likely. So we're basically playing different shows here and there across the country. Like in July, we're playing Willie Nelson's Picnic in Austin, and then we play Whiskey A Go-Go in LA 2 days later. So it just depends. If a good gig comes up, we're going to take it. But I think a big tour would be awesome. I mean, it's hard music to kind of pinpoint and to match with a certain band. It's very unique, so it doesn't quite fit in country. It fits more in rock and roll than anything. I see us opening for maybe the Dead Boys or some kind of old punk or old rock and roll band before a country artist. But they've opened for country artists before, so I just don't know.
Wow, that's exciting, the Willie Nelson Fest. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's a hell of a lineup, too. I think Sturgill Simpson's one of the headliners. Margot Price is playing, so I'm kind of excited just to be on the same stage as some of those folks.
That's about an hour away from me. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll see you there.
July 4th. Let me know. We'll get you in.
I heard somewhere that you like you said, you were you're, I guess, sort of kind of a gun for hire, and you wanted to I guess, have a website where people could go to, I guess, hire you. Did you ever get that website?
I do have a website up. It's angelalese.com. So yeah, I have that up with some videos, and I think I need to update the tour, like the tour dates and stuff. But all like the pictures, videos, bio, all that good stuff's up there.
Well, I did not know that you had bought AngelaLese.com, so I bought you a present. What'd you buy? I bought you Tamachick.com.
You did? Holy crap! Well, I can use that too. That's
yes,
awesome.
Use that too.
Man, that's so awesome. I don't know how that works. I had a friend. I bought the website, and I had a friend like kind of put it together for me. So I'm sure like I can point someone to that, or vice versa. Like I know there's a way to do that. I don't have the brain power for it.
Yeah, I have a website because I have a window washing business, and so I have a website, and then I have a couple of different websites that all redirect to the main website. So yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Oh, that's nice of you. Hell, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's crazy. I can't wait to tell people.
Aw, good. So you recently got married.
I did 2 months ago.
So what's her name?
Her name's Megan Gregory, and technically I took her name, so I'm Angela Lese Gregory, but, online, since I've been known as Angela Lese, or Angie Lese, whatever, I'll just go with that online for social media purposes. But, yeah, legally I took her name, and it was really awesome. We had a ton of people there, and they couldn't have gone more smoothly. Like, literally nothing went wrong. It was crazy.
How did you guys meet?
It was really fun. How did we meet?
Yeah.
We met years ago. Gosh, we met in April of 2013. So she was married at the time, but we met on this. It was like an adult kickball league, and I had joined it to meet friends down here, and that's where I met her. And I was instantly like, I have to know that person. She's hilarious. So we became friends over the years, and it just happened we just kind of fell in each other's paths again in 2015. And she was going through a divorce, and I had just lost somebody kind of tragically. A mutual, one of her best friends is someone I was dating, and she died suddenly in 2014. So that was rough dealing with, but we just kind of found each other through that weird path, and we're kind of, I guess, meant to be after a while. We just couldn't deny the signs anymore. So we got together in 2015 and never looked back.
That's great. Where was the wedding?
We had the wedding at Marathon Music Works here in town, which was really cool because when I was in the Dead, we had opened for Evanescence there at that venue. And I've seen several shows there. So it's a music venue, and it's really cool looking, industrial looking, beautiful hardwood floors. So the scene was just perfect for a wedding. So it was really cool to have it there. And we had 170 people there, I think. We had a lot of people there.
That is a lot of people.
Yeah, it was great. And, the pictures just turned out really perfectly, and the food was fantastic. The music was great. Our friends and family helped us a lot, to help us pull it off on a budget, no less. And it was really fun. It was a perfect day.
And where did you guys go on your honeymoon?
Well, we went to a couple different places. We went to Cancun first because we wanted to go somewhere warm. We got married in January. We went to Cancun for 4 days, and then it so happened that I got asked to be on Shiprock to play in their what they call the Stowaways. It's an all-star band on the boat. So I got to play on the ship. It's actually my old manager. He books out Shiprock, so he asked me to play in that band, and he was like, it can be part of your honeymoon. I'm like, that would be awesome. So I drug Megan on this ship for our second half of the honeymoon, which was more fun than a honeymoon should be probably. It wasn't quite the romantic scene, but it was great. I got to play with some, really famous people, and that's a lot of fun to just sit there and be like, what am I doing with my life? I'm playing with, someone from Disturbed. I'm playing with someone from Guns N' Roses. It's just crazy, to sit back and watch. Oh, I played with Corey Glover, too, and that was amazing from Living Color. That was pretty cool.
No shit.
It was just a really cool experience. And yeah, it's not quite Megan's scene, but I think she had fun anyway. That was a lot of fun.
You got to play with the dude from Living Color?
I did. Yeah, we played a Prince song, which I've been begging my old manager about for the 3 years we'd been on Shiprock, or 2 years. I was like, let's do this song. It'll be great. And we never could pull it off, really. And then when he announced Corey Glover was on board, I'm like, oh, God, he's got to do the Prince song. So we played Darling Nikki together.
Oh, really?
And we played with Phil Buckman he's a bassist of Fuel. Like, it was really, really fucking awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and he's such a cool dude, and I mean, the best singer there is. So it was, and I love Prince, so just getting to play that with a Prince-like character is just amazing.
And who did you play with from the Guns N' Roses?
There was a time where Ron Bumblefoot was in it. I think the time where Slash wasn't. So that's who I got to play with.
That's
and
cool.
He's a badass guitarist.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And you've done that 3 years, you said?
Yeah, I was on the last 2 years with the Dead Deads, and just this past January, just as like an all-star member. So it was really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll play on cruise ships forever if I can. It's a lot of fun.
I've heard that. I've heard it is a lot of fun. And, I mean, for how long you're there, it's not a whole lot of work, right?
It was with band because there were interviews, photos. You had 2 shows. There was a lot of work to do, plus the freaking makeup. I mean, that is one thing I don't miss about being in the Dead Deads is the eye makeup. You know, we always had to be a Dead Dead, so we always had to wear the X's. So, like, it is definitely nice being in bands where I don't have to do that. I can just be myself, which is pretty cool. So, like, those years were busy, but this past year was definitely, it wasn't that busy at all. So we did have some relaxation time. We got to play on the beach in the Bahamas, so that was pretty fun. Yeah, it's nice if you can get on there. I really want to get on, I really want Takamouth to get on the Kiss cruise. That would be a dream.
Oh my gosh, that'd be fucking amazing.
It would be so amazing.
One of my previous guests, his name is Izzy Presley, and he is in an Ace Frehley tribute band called ACK. And I think he hosts some sort of a rock and roll cruise thing once a year. He was telling me how it's just fucking awesome. I
think I've seen that. Like, I was just, no pun intended, cruising online for cruise sites and different boats. We can get rock bands on, and I think I saw something like that on there. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. It sounds like I've never been on a boat, like a big cruise ship like that, because I'm just terrified of, pirates and sickness and all that stuff. Plus I grew up super poor, and so I kind of can't mentally wrap my head around how much it would cost to do that.
I don't know if I would ever pay to go on a cruise, because going on the motorboat cruise was my first cruise ever. So we played on it, so I didn't have to pay to be on it.
Right.
So the only way to go is when there's music playing. I don't know how people just go on a cruise ship and there's nothing happening. I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, there's stuff to do, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of boring. I couldn't go on a cruise unless there was music on board.
So you're not going to wake up and have breakfast and then go meet Megan at the shuffleboard tables?
Right. I'll see her at the bar with a Bloody Mary.
There you go.
More her style.
So, does Takamouth have any music that people can hear? Is there any music that they can go get, or that I can go get and listen to from Takamouth?
Yeah, we have an EP available. It's called WGAF, which stands for Who Gives a, And that's also produced by Michael Wagner. Before we had a band, we just went into the studio because Michael asked Erica and I if we had any music. He had a free month, basically, and he was like, I'm bored, let's do something. And we were still in the Dead Deads. So we were like, well, we don't have anything coming up except the Seether tour. We can probably swing it. And we asked the girls, and they seemed a little bothered by it, but they said, just do it while they're on vacation. So we went into the studio and recorded back in September. And it was a lot of fun. We just had, actually, Erica's boyfriend, Sean, come in and play bass and guitar. Erica played a lot of the guitar parts, and she sang some stuff. And then we just asked around, and we had our friend Hannah Fairlight come in and sing on the record. And she's in, it's hard to say over the phone, she's in a band called MMHMM.
Ah.
And she's in that duo with Raelyn Nelson. And we're actually playing with them tonight. But she's in that band. She has her own stuff. And she's in Pitch Perfect 3, actually.
What? Really?
Yeah, she's got a role with the all-female band in that movie. It's pretty funny. And she does great. And she looks awesome on the big screen. So it's really cool. I don't know how she got that, but it's well-deserved and it's pretty cool. And I don't know how she agreed to sing for us, but she came in and sang the songs and did awesome. And that's what's on the record. But she's so busy with her other stuff, she couldn't actually form a band. And it wasn't even going to be a band until we were out of the Dead Beds. And we're like, well, hell, we might as well make it a band now. So we decided to put that band together, and we had some auditions for singers when Hannah said she couldn't be in the band. And that's where we found another Erica DeLangen, who sings backup with Lords of Acid, among other things. So
wow,
pretty cool to have her in the band. So she'll be on the full-length record, but the EP that we have available now, sorry for the long story, but the EP we have available now, it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, it's on all that good stuff. It's on Bandcamp, so you can get that, and it's called WGAF.
Everybody look in the show notes. There'll be a link to that EP through Amazon. So scroll down on the website to the show notes of this episode, and you can get that link.
Yeah.
Now, before I let you go, I reached out to somebody from your past and got a few words, I guess, of wisdom or inspiration or whatever for you. So,
Okay.
So just listen carefully, and then at the end, I'll tell you who it is.
All right.
Angela, of the small group of students I am truly proud of, you rank pretty high. You resisted at first, but you eventually relented and did the work, and your hard work has paid off. I've watched you grow as a drummer, a musician, and as a human, which has been awesome. Keep pushing like you have been, and you will kill it even more. I love your face. Who's that from?
Oh, man. Is that Steve O'Reilly?
It is.
Oh, I love him so much. He's such a good damn drummer. Oh, man.
When I reached out to him, he got back to me almost immediately. He seemed super excited to send those words. So just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, it's so great. So the story with him is when I was just getting started in the music scene in Louisville, I was part of this Weekend Warriors program. It was like a dating service for musicians. And my friend Benji ran the program, and he would match up musicians with similar talents and genres. And then you'd practice 6 weeks together, and then you'd play a show together. So that's how I got started playing in bands, was in that Weekend Warrior program. And then we'd put on a concert, and then they'd always have this like all-star band play at the end of the night. And one of those nights I saw Stevo play, and he was playing Hot for Teacher, but he was twirling his sticks in between pretty much every hit. And not only does it take an incredibly talented drummer to play Hot for Teacher, but it takes an incredible one to do all those tricks while playing Hot for Teacher. And I was just blown away. I was just like, my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, this is the greatest drummer I've ever seen in my life. And it took me several years to finally like give in and take lessons, because, you know, lessons are, you have to pay for them, and I'm cheap, and and I was just learning covers, so I didn't see the need for lessons. And when I finally gave in, like I took probably 10 lessons from him before I had to move to Nashville. So I had just only taken lessons from him in probably late 2011, early 2012. And then I moved here, so I had to end the lessons. But he's such a phenomenal drummer, and he's a really nice person and a great teacher too. So I'm blessed to have him in my life, you know. It was a really cool experience. And that's so nice of him to say.
That's really cool. I think if I remember correctly, I think he's the one who told you needed to get a website.
It's possible. I think I've told him to get one too, because he did all these talents, and he had this great video on YouTube, and he wasn't really showing anybody what he could do. I'm like, man, you suck at social media. And that's one thing like I'm really good at. I'm good at self-promotion, not because I want to. It's because you have to. You have to show people who you are. There's not really MTV. There's no videos anymore except on YouTube, but you have to advertise, and you're a commodity, and you need to show that. So, and he's a freaking commodity, and I think I yelled at him about getting a website too once I finally got one.
That's great.
I know he's got a podcast now, but I don't know if he's got that website yet.
He might. So, can I play one of the songs from the Talk Mouth EP on here?
Oh, hell yeah. Probably a couple have bad words in them. So
That's fine.
I would say, let's get a little bit. We have a video for that now on YouTube also.
So the track is called Let's Get a Little Bit, and here it is.
I see the way that you're walking and talking, moving from room to room. You strut your stuff like I haven't seen enough of everything they assume. Who's that lady? They each whisper, smells like candy. May we keep her. You're in the spotlight, the night is ageless. The way you move, you set the mood, and it's contagious. Your hips are shaking, their hearts are breaking. The way you move, you set the mood, there's no mistaking. I see the way you're scheming, perceiving how to make your next move. You shake your hips just to see what you can get, but baby, I've got nothing to lose. Who's that lady? Each whisper smells like candy. May we keep her. You're in the spotlight, the night is ageless. The way you move, you set the mood, and it's contagious. Your hips are shaking, their hearts are breaking. The way you move, you set the mood, there's no mistaking. I see what I see. Maybe you see what you need, baby. I see what I see. Maybe you see what you need, baby. I Let's get a little bit wasted. Let's have a little more fun. Let's get a little bit dangerous, 'cause we're all young and dumb.
That was called Let's Get a Little Bit off of the Taco Mouth EP WGAF. And like I said, scroll down to the show notes and there'll be a link there. You can buy that album. Angela, before I let you go, is there anything that I didn't ask that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so, because I covered how Erica and I met, and I just want people to know that, like, I know people follow me from the Dead Deads, and I appreciate their continued support, but there's no reason to choose. You know, we've had a lot of fans angry at one side or the other, but there's no reason for that. You know, now you have two bands to support if you want. Music's not a competition. It's supposed to be fun and stuff. So I just appreciate everyone that stuck by us, and I'm here to tell you, man, look out for Erica Sellers, because Taco Mouth's going to blow up, and it's all because of her, and she's just a freaking genius, and I'm proud to be drumming behind her again.
Is there a story behind the name Taco Mouth?
There's not a good story behind it, but there is one. I had a birthday party at my house in the fall, and we were playing cards, and we were talking about how much we love Taco Bell, and one of my friends was like, yeah, I think Erica said something like, I just can't keep Taco Bell tacos out of my mouth. And my friend was like, that'd be a good band name, Taco Mouth. And Erica just lit up, and she's like, okay, that's my new band name for sure. So that's where that came from.
That's a cute story.
It's pretty good.
All right, tell everybody where they can find you on the various social medias.
Well, you can find the Raelyn Nelson Band on Facebook and Instagram at Raelyn Nelson Band, and on Twitter it's just at Raelyn Nelson. And then for Taco Mouth, you can find us at Taco Mouth Band on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook too.
And personally,
you can find me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Tamachick, Tama Chick. And soon you can find me on tamachick.com.
yeah.
But right now I'm AngelaLese.com. You can find my stuff there too.
All right, cool. Angela, thank you so very much for taking this time with me. It was awesome to talk to you again like it was the first time. And I look forward to maybe seeing you in July in Austin.
That would be amazing. Let me know. I'll get into the show for real. Like, just hit me up about that. But thank you again for having me on here. It's always fun talking with you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Have a great rest of your day and go melt some faces tonight.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, this is Steve Owens from Fascination Street Podcast. You know, the podcast you just listened to. Well, I need your help. I need to get more ratings and reviews on iTunes. So here's what I'm going to do. I had some special Fascination Street Podcast surprise gifts made up for everybody who rates and reviews the podcast on iTunes. Doesn't matter what you rate it. It doesn't matter how you rate it, as long as you rate it. And then email a screenshot to fascinationstreetpod@gmail.com along with your name and mailing address so that I can mail you your free surprise thank you gift. So if you've gotten this far, go ahead and take another couple of minutes to rate and review the podcast, and you might as well subscribe and tell a friend. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing. So thanks, guys. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.